Welcome everybody, a new day and a great new episode every Wednesday, with your beautiful support, by subscribing and liking the video, and also for sure, sharing the video. The channel gets bigger and better. Enjoy watching. McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle. Operational history. Introduction and early service. The largest operator of the F-15 is the United States Air Force. The first Eagle, an F-15B, was delivered on November 13, 1974. In January 1976, the first Eagle, destined for a combat squadron, the 555th TFS, was delivered. These initial aircraft carried the Hughes aircraft, now Raytheon, APG-63 radar. Anti-satellite trials. The ASM-135 missile was designed to be a standoff anti-satellite ASAT weapon, with the F-15 acting as a first stage. The Soviet Union could correlate a U.S. rocket launch with a spy satellite loss. But an F-15 carrying an ASAT would blend in among hundreds of F-15 flights. From January 1984 to September 1986, two F-15As were used as launch platforms for the ASAT missile. The F-15As were modified to carry one ASM-135 on the centerline station, with extra equipment within a special centerline pylon. The launch aircraft executed a Mach 1.22, 3.8 grams climb at 65 degrees to release the ASAT missile at an altitude of 38,100 feet. The flight computer was updated to control the zoom climb and missile release. The third test flight involved a retired P-78-1 solar observatory satellite in a 345-mile, 555 kilometers orbit, which was destroyed by kinetic energy. The pilot, USAF Major Wilbert D. Doug Pearson, became the only pilot to destroy a satellite. The ASAT program involved 5 test launches. The program was officially terminated in 1988. Gulf War and aftermath. The USAF began deploying F-15C, D, and E model aircraft to the Persian Gulf region in August 1990 for Operations Desert Shield and Desert Storm. During the Gulf War, the F-15 accounted for 36 of the 39 air-to-air victories by U.S. Air Force against Iraqi forces. Iraq has confirmed the loss of 23 of its aircraft in air-to-air combat. The F-15C and D fighters were used in the air superiority role, while F-15E Strike Eagles were used in air-to-ground attacks, mainly at night, hunting modified Scud missile launchers and artillery sites using the Lantern system. According to the USAF, its F-15CS had 34 confirmed kills of Iraqi aircraft during the 1991 Gulf War, most of them by missile fire: 5 Mikoyan MiG-29S, 2 MiG-25S, 8 MiG-23S, 2 MiG-21s, 2 Sukhoi Su-25S, 4 Sukhoi Su-22S, 1 Sukhoi Su-7, 6 Dassault Mirage F-1S, 1 Ilyushin Il-76 cargo aircraft, 1 Pilatus PC-9 trainer, and 2 Mi-8 helicopters. Air superiority was achieved in the first 3 days of the conflict. Many of the later kills were reportedly of Iraqi aircraft fleeing to Iran, rather than engaging American aircraft. A Strike Eagle achieved an aerial kill of an Iraqi Mi-8 helicopter with a laser-guided bomb. 2 F-15Es were lost to ground fire. Another was damaged on the ground by a Scud strike on King Abdulaziz Air Base. On November 11, 1990, a Royal Saudi Air Force (RSAF) pilot defected to Sudan with an F-15C fighter during Operation Desert Shield. Saudi Arabia paid $40 million for return of the aircraft. 3 months later, RSAF F-15S shot down 2 Iraqi Mirage F-1S during the Operation Desert Storm. One Saudi F-15C was lost to a crash during the Gulf War in 1991. The Iranian Air Force claims this fighter was part of two USAF F-15Cs that engaged two Iraqi MiG-25 PDS and was hit by an R-40 missile before crashing. They have since been deployed to support Operation Southern Watch, the patrolling of the Iraqi no-fly zones in southern Iraq. Operation Provide Comfort in Turkey, in support of NATO operations in Bosnia, and recent Air Expeditionary Force deployments. In 1994, two U.S. Army Sikorsky UH-60 Black Hawks were mistakenly downed by USAF F-15Cs in northern Iraq in a friendly fire incident. U.S. Air Force F-15Cs shot down four Yugoslav MiG-29s using AIM-120 and AIM-7 radar-guided missiles during NATO's 1999 intervention in Kosovo, Operation Allied Force. Structural defects. All F-15 aircraft were grounded by the U.S. Air Force after a Missouri Air National Guard F-15C came apart in flight and crashed on November 2, 2007. The newer F-15E fleet was later cleared for continued operations. The U.S. Air Force reported on November 28, 2007, that a critical location in the upper longerons on the F-15C model was suspected of causing the failure, causing the fuselage forward of the air intakes, including the cockpit and radome, to separate from the airframe. F-15A through D model aircraft were grounded until the location received more detailed inspections and repairs as needed. The grounding of F-15S received media attention as it began to place strains on the nation's air defense efforts. The grounding forced some states to rely on their neighboring states' fighters for air defense protection, and Alaska to depend on Canadian Forces fighter support. On January 8, 2008, the U.S. Air Force Air Combat Command, ACC, cleared a portion of its F-15A through D model fleet for return to flying status. It also recommended a limited return to flight for units worldwide using the affected models. The Accident Review Board report was released on January 10, 2008. The report stated that analysis of the F-15C wreckage determined that the longeron did not meet drawing specifications, which led to fatigue cracks, and finally a catastrophic failure of the remaining support structures, and breakup of the aircraft in flight. In a report released on January 10, 2008, 9 other F-15S were identified to have similar problems in the longeron. As a result of these problems, General John D.W. Corley stated, "The long-term future of the F-15 is in question." On February 15, 2008, ACC cleared all its grounded F-15A, F-15B, F-15C and F-15D fighters for flight pending inspections, engineering reviews, and any needed repairs. ACC also recommended release of other US F-15A, F-15B, F-15C and F-15D aircraft. The F-15 has a combined air-to-air combat record of 104 kills, to no losses as of February 2008. The F-15's air superiority versions, the A, B, C and D models, have not suffered any losses to enemy action. Over half of F-15 kills have been achieved by Air Force pilots. On September 16, 2009, the last F-15A, an Oregon Air National Guard aircraft, was retired, marking the end of service for the F-15A and F-15B models in the United States. With the retirement of the F-15A and B models, the F-15C and D models are supplemented in U.S. service by the newer F-22 Raptor. As of 2013, regular Air Force F-15C and F-15D fighters are based overseas with the Pacific Air Forces at Kadena AB in Japan, and with the U.S. Air Forces in Europe at RAF Lakenhus in the United Kingdom. Other regular Air Force F-15s are operated by AACC as adversary aggressor platforms, at Nellis AFB, Nevada, and by Air Force Material Command, in test and evaluation roles, at Edwards AFB, California, and Eglin AFB, Florida. All remaining combat-coded F-15CS and F-15DS are operated by the Air National Guard. The U.S. Air Force is upgrading 178 F-15C and DS with the ANAPG-63 V-3 ESA radar and equipping other F-15S with a joint helmet-mounted cueing system as of 2006. In 2007, the Air Force planned to keep 178 F-15C and F-15DS, along with 224 F-15ES, in service beyond 2025. As part of the Air Force's Factory 2015 budget, the F-15C faced cuts or retirement in response to sequestration. Cuts are principally directed at platforms with single mission capabilities. The retirement of some of the 250 F-15C fighters would save maintenance and upgrade costs, which could be redirected to speed procurement of the F-35 Lightning II. The air-to-air combat role would be taken up preeminently by the F-22 Raptor, supported by the F-35. Even if this option is pursued, at least part of the F-15C fleet is likely to be preserved. The Air Force's Factory 2015 budget proposal would reduce the F-15C fleet by 51 aircraft. Then in April 2017, Air Force officials announced plans to retire the F-15C and F-15D in the mid-2020s and press more F-16S into roles occupied by the F-15. In December 2018, Bloomberg government reported that the Pentagon, not the Air Force, in its 2020 budget request, will likely request $1.2 billion for 12 new-built F-15X fighters to replace older F-15CS, operated by Air National Guard units. The F-15E will remain in service for years to come because of the model's primary air-to-ground role and the lower number of hours on the F-15E airframes. Yemen Civil War. During the Yemeni Civil War, 2015 to present, Houthis have used R-27T missiles modified to serve as surface-to-air missiles. A video, released on January 7, 2018 also shows a modified R-27T hitting a Saudi F-15 on a forward-looking infrared camera. Houthi sources claim to have downed the F-15, although this has been disputed, as the missile apparently proximity detonated. Though the F-15 continued to fly in its trajectory seemingly unaffected. Rebels later released footage showing an aircraft wreck, but serial numbers on the wreckage suggested the aircraft was a Panavia Tornado, also operated by Saudi forces. On January 8, the Saudi admitted the loss of an aircraft but by technical reasons. On March 21, 2018, Houthi rebels released a video where they hit and possibly shot down a Saudi F-15 in Sada province. In the video, a R-27T air-to-air missile, adapted for surface-to-air use, was launched, appearing to have successfully hit a jet. As in the video of the previous similar hit recorded on January 8. The target, while clearly hit, did not appear to be downed. Saudi forces confirmed the hit, while saying the jet safely landed at a Saudi base. Saudi official sources confirmed the incident, reporting that it happened at 3:48 p.m. local time, after a surface-to-air defense missile was launched at the fighter jet from inside Sada Airport. Thank you very much for watching the video. Like, subscribe and share. We are waiting for your comments to enrich the content. Thanks again, and good night.